Welcome to Hall of Fame Stadium in Oklahoma City for the 2023 Women's College World Series. Michella Chester here with D1Softball's Tara Henry. We've got a loaded day of action, 4 games, all 8 teams competing, and a lot to talk about and break down, Tara. I mean, we've got a lot going on.
First and foremost, can you see this behind us? This is incredible. There's nothing like Hall of Fame Stadium in June. Well, it's May still, right? Is it June 1st?
I don't know what day it
is. But it's the greatest thing in the world to be here in May and June at the Women's College World Series.
So let's start off with our first matchup of the day. We've got Tennessee, Alabama, an all-SEC battle. Tara, these two teams are pretty familiar. They played 4 times this season. Tennessee is 3-1 in the series. What do you see in this matchup?
You know, Ashley Rogers, she's got 2 wins over Alabama. And Montana Fouts, in her press conference yesterday, she spoke a little bit about the losses that she suffered against the Vols. And she wasn't in quite the mental space at that time. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Montana Fouts of old. You know, we do know she's thrown a perfect game here in Oklahoma City. So I think we're going to see Montana Fouts today. But this is a very different Alabama Tide squad than we saw against Tennessee in the earlier season. But again, dropping that game to the Vols in the SEC tournament 3-1, it is tough to beat a team that many times. So the Tide they're gonna bring it today.
Let's talk a little bit about the pitching at Tennessee. You've got Ashley Rogers, Peyton Gottschall. They both have a few wins over Alabama, facing this offense that, you know, struggled a little bit, but has come alive at some points during the season.
Well, taking a look at those 3 arms. So you've got Ashley Rogers. We spoke about Ashley Rogers. You've got Peyton Gottschall, the transfer from Bowling Green. And then Carlin Pickens, the rookie, which I think it's going to be important for her to get some experience here because she is the future of Tennessee. But you're going up against an Ashley Prangy at Alabama who's really done everything for them, and Allie Shipman. So it's going to be a test. Can Ashley Rogers go after, let's say, a Prangy? I think they'll stay up in the zone. They'll throw the out pitch because Prangy's power is in, and if she can get her hands extended, that's something to keep an eye on. But lots of home runs in this series. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a lot of balls leave the yard.
Absolutely. And you talk about Tennessee's pitching staff. How about their offense? I mean, you've got Kiki Malloy, was in contention for Player of the Year, one of the top home run hitters in the nation. McKenna Gibson, Zeta Pooney. I mean, these players are very valuable to this Tennessee team.
Yeah, you take a look at those 3. Kiki Malloy, she's got a 1,600 OPS, over 16 OPS, and her weighted wins above average, Michella. So that's how many wins she's actually worth to a team. She's over 5 wins. So she's worth 5 wins to the Tennessee Vols. So when you take a look at Kiki Malloy, who arguably could have been the Player of the Year, I would think. She is just a huge addition to that program. And then you spoke about McKenna Gibson as well as Zeta Pooney. If you're looking at the top hitters in the Women's College World Series, those 3 are on that list of the top 10 hitters in terms of OPS and weighted wins above average here in Oklahoma City.
So we've got a great one with Tennessee, Alabama. Let's move on to number 1, Oklahoma versus number 9, Stanford. These teams also face this season. I mean, let's first, I want to start with Oklahoma. I mean, this team is just different. They swept Clemson in the Super Regionals down to their last out and their last strike, and Kinsey Hansen hits a 3-run bomb.
They are. And, you know, I think we talk about, you know, this OU team isn't the same as they were last year, but there's nothing, you can't argue with the fact that they have been dominant throughout the season. A team that has just 1 loss, it's incredible. And you saw the fight in that Kinsey Hansen home run. But Riley Boone is the one that started that rally off. And I just don't think she gets a ton of credit and enough credit for starting that offense. But then you take a look at that pitching staff. You've got Jordy Ball, Alex Storako, Kirsten Deal, and Nicole May, who is steady and solid and always comes to play here in Oklahoma City. But when you take a look at the Sooners, you know, up and down, 1 through 10, 1 through 20, I think I always argue. It's just a tough squad to beat.
So they beat Stanford once this season. But Tara, they didn't see Vaughter, and they did not see the National Freshman of the Year in Nigel Kennedy.
So it was the first weekend of the season, and I was there. I was at the Mark Campbell Classic in Irvine, and it is a very different team than we saw in the beginning of the season. And head coach Jessica Alister, I'd argue that she kept those two behind, not giving this Oklahoma squad looks at those arms. So I think we're going to see an Alana Vaughter. I think we're going to see a Kennedy, and I think it's going to be a mix of the two of them. I don't think one of them is going to go all game long because it's really difficult to hold that offense down, especially once through that lineup. So I think we're going to see a mix of both of them.
Not to mention, Stanford's actually 3-2 in the all-time series. This game, if OU gets a win, could even the series. I think you remember some of those historical matchups when you were playing base.
Yeah, so they placed early this year, and then the last time they faced at the Women's College World Series was actually back in 2004. Jessica Alister was on that squad, and Lauren Lappin, coach at Arizona. So actually, the Cardinal knocked the Sooners out of the Women's College World Series back here in 2004. So maybe they'll be coming for some more blood. I don't know that OU needs another reason to come after a team, but last time they were here together, they faced one another.
All right, let's move on to Oklahoma State, Florida State. A great one here, Tara, but I want to talk about OSU. Went on a 2-11 losing streak to end the regular season. I mean, they completely turned it around in the postseason.
Absolutely. And when you take a look at a squad, you never want your team to slump, but if you're going to slump, you want to do it before the postseason. And Kenny Gajewski, I can't say enough about his ability to turn that team around. It starts in the circle with Lexi Kilfoyle and Kelly Maxwell. Lexi Kilfoyle really has come on strong for the Cowgirls, stepped up when Kelly Maxwell struggled a little bit. And that offense that we saw wasn't a big slump. Finding a way to win, just getting it done, putting the ball in play. And what Lonnie Alameda said just a day ago is more of like a blue-collar offense. So this is going to be a really fun one to watch.
And then you've got FSU, Lonnie Alameda, and a kind of pitch-by-committee theory here.
Absolutely. You know, we look at Kat Sandercock as the ace of that staff, but what Lonnie Alameda does with Florida State, she's able to really break down an entire staff. So I think we're going to see a ton of arms in the circle today. I don't know that we're going to see a Kat Sandercock perfect game, but you could see a Mac Leonard, an Ali Dubois. We could see a McKenna Reed, an incredible lefty arm that throws hard up in the zone. So there's just so many options, and I just love what Lonnie Alameda does with that staff. And it's something that I believe she's brought to the game of softball, taken from baseball, and understanding who actually matches up with opposing hitters.
What do you think about the offensive matchup? FSU leading the country in doubles, turn a lot of singles into doubles as well.
Absolutely. I can't say enough about Florida State and the way they run the bases. I know I'm a little bit biased, but they are incredible. Yes, like you said, Michella, they lead the country in doubles, and they turn singles into doubles. They're scoring from first. They're aggressive on the base pass, and they find ways to win. And then on the flip side, you're taking a look at an OSU offense that hit a ton of home runs early on. That offense slumped, but you would argue that they're hitting their stride at the right time with a Kylie Naomi and, of course, Rachel Becker at the top of the lineup. When Rachel Becker goes for the Cowgirls, the rest of that squad goes.
Yes, an instant impact when she transferred to the program. All right, let's move on. Utah, Washington. We've got a Pac-12 battle for our last game of the day. You know, this is a very different Utah team. They've faced four times this season. But Utah got the best of them in the Pac-12 championship, then went on to win it.
Absolutely. And, you know, Utah went on a little bit of their own slide heading into the Pac-12 tournament, but you argue they've gained a ton of momentum. First winners of the Pac-12 championship. The first time that tournament has ever been is in 2023, which I know you all can't believe. But yes, this Utah squad, Amy Hogue, can't say enough about what she's doing there in Salt Lake City. And then on the flip side, Washington, you know, someone would argue that they're happy to be here. That seventh inning miraculous comeback against McNeese in regionals, they are, I think they're playing with house money and having a great time at it. Lots of smiles, having fun. So a good matchup, another Pac-12 matchup that we're going to see here.
And, you know, Tara, one thing I might mention yesterday, Bailey Klinger, she got emotional just talking about that 7-run comeback. She said she looked at her teammates in the dugout and was like, is this going to be over for me? And got emotional. They were all very emotional to be here.
And, you know, we talked to Silent Rain Espinoza on the podcast, and she said the same thing. And she looked at Bailey in the dugout and said, hey, we got this. We got you. And I think that team is really playing well for one another. It's a true team effort, and we're taking a look at Ruby Malin in the circle for them, and I know we're going to get into talking about both Lopez's here in this matchup.
That's literally where I was leading you, Tara. So we've got Mariah Lopez, just a workhorse in the circle for Utah, and then Lindsay Lopez over at Washington combined with Ruby Malin.
And we'll start with Utah. Mariah Lopez, she started all 3 games against San Diego State and got it done for them, got that W to advance to the Women's College World Series. And she's working in tandem with Paige Parker, former OU great. And I think she's done a nice job there at Utah. And then we'll look on the flip side. Lindsay Lopez, who didn't throw a ton of innings in the beginning of the season, has now come on as of late and really throwing well and starting for the Huskies. So another lefty on the other side. But then we can't forget about the rookie Ruby Malin and what she's done for the Washington Huskies this season. Just simply incredible what she's been able to do and come to this squad. And I don't know if you all saw that reaction at the end of Supers when the Huskies clinched. Just incredibly emotional, that team.
Absolutely. We've got some great games ahead. We also have a special guest joining us in 4-time All-American, 2-time Player of the Year, the Oklahoma Sooner great Jocelyn Alo is here with us now. All right, we welcome on Jocelyn Alo, 4-time All-American, 2-time Player of the Year, Oklahoma softball. Jocelyn, back in OKC, a little different this time, but a lot of memories here. I mean, how does it feel being back without the jersey this time?
It feels weird for sure. Definitely not playing this year, but I'm excited to see all my friends just go out there and do their thing. I think I have friends on every team here, so I'm just excited to see them do the dang thing.
And how about your Oklahoma team? Being back with them, you'll hopefully get to see them a bunch. Just being back with your senior sisters, what's that like?
Man, I'm so excited for them and just what they've done this year for sport of softball, breaking the longest win streak ever. So I'm just excited to see what they do, and you know how hard I'm a root for the Sooners, but our alumni section is going to go up. I'm excited.
So playing Stanford in the first game, what do you think of that matchup?
I think it's going to be a good game. Stanford's got a really good pitcher, just won Freshman of the Year. She's going to spin the ball through the zone, but I think Sooners are going to come out swinging, so I'm excited.
What other games are you most looking forward to today? Are there any that you're really intrigued by, the matchups?
I'm looking forward to Florida State, Oklahoma State, and also looking forward to Tennessee, Alabama. I got Zeta Pooney over there at third. That's my girl, so I'm excited to see her do her thing on this stage.
So I know we're rooting for Oklahoma, obviously, and you're going to root for them hard.
Right.
You're going for the three-peat, but who do you think has the best chance of challenging this team here in OKC?
I think Florida State and Tennessee both do.
Okay.
We saw Florida State earlier, but Florida State always comes in hot here at the World Series, and then Tennessee just doing their thing all year and being in the SEC, facing great competition every weekend. I think it's going to be a dogfight if they see each other.
All right, I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you want to do some game picks?
Some what?
Game picks. Let's pick the winners of each game.
Okay.
All right, so Oklahoma, Stanford.
Oklahoma.
Obviously. Tennessee, Alabama.
I think Tennessee is going to come
You're going
away
with
with
the
it.
Vols?
Yeah.
All right, how about Florida State, Oklahoma State?
I'm going to have to go FSU for my girl, sis Cheryl.
Okay, you're going with, why are you picking them?
I don't know. It's not even that it's a rivalry thing, but I just think Florida State always comes out hot here at the World Series. So I don't know. That'll be a good game.
All right, and lastly, Utah, Washington.
Ooh. I'm going to go with the Utes. Gasso fam, got Paige Parker over there, so they know what it takes to win in postseason. Paige knows what it takes to win in postseason, so I'm going to have to go Utes.
All right, Jocelyn, thanks so much. Let's see how
Yes,
it goes.
thank you. Boomer.
All right, that does it. We've got a great day of action ahead of us. First day of the Women's College World Series. First pitch, Tennessee, Alabama, will be 12 Eastern on ESPN. See you all week.